What if the Haven, the thing everyone calls the best ship within a ship experience in cruising, isn't the best answer anymore? Not because it got worse, because you changed. The kids are grown. You don't need a water park. You want calm. You want extraordinary food. You want adults only, not adults only on the upper deck. Adults only, period. Oceania made that move in January.
So today we're asking, if you're a Haven cruiser, is it time to move up?
We've sailed both, and then we went to price them. And here's what surprised us. The Haven HE Penthouse and an Oceania Concierge Veranda, same season, Caribbean, same length. The difference was $58 a day per person. That's it. And then that number changes the entire conversation because it means this isn't a decision the price tag makes for you. You get to decide.
Yeah, we're going to walk you through it category by category, every detail, what you gain, what you lose. I'm Doug, this is Leah, and we're Go Travel Life.
We need to be upfront about something before we go further. This is not a which cruise line is better video. This is not how we think about it, and it shouldn't be how you think about it either. This is where you are in your travel life video.
So if you're still sailing with kids or maybe some grandkids, or you just love the energy of the big resort at sea, the Haven might be exactly what's right for you. We've done it 10 times and we know it well.
But if you're in that chapter where the house is quieter, the calendar is yours, and you're looking at the Haven thinking, this is great, but I don't need all this, Oceania deserves a real look, especially now, because in January 2026, Oceania went adults only, fleet-wide. No kids clubs, no youth programs. This is a fundamental shift in who the ship is for. Additionally, when NCL announced their status match program in the fall of 2025, this really makes checking out NCL's other lines really interesting if you have good NCL status. The benefits are real. We received $450 in onboard credit and some free laundry on our last Oceania cruise because we had Sapphire status on NCL. I do have a separate video reviewing that program and how it works here. And maybe you're in the phase of life where you can take a longer, more port-intensive, more creative cruise, and this is Oceania's sweet spot.
Yeah, so here's the frame. We're comparing the entry-level Haven Penthouse HE against the Oceania Concierge level Veranda. Not just the basic balcony, the Concierge level gives you a basket of benefits that are actually somewhat comparable to the Haven. The Concierge, the lounge, the spa terrace, and priority dining. So let's start with the rooms.
This is a quick comparison as both offerings are comfortable, spacious, and inviting. The Haven Penthouse is sophisticated, dark tones, sumptuous fabrics, motorized curtains, the kind of room that makes you feel like somebody the second you walk in. We've done a full walkthrough in our Haven video here, but the short version, it's a hotel room that happens to be on a ship. King bed, sitting area with sofa and chairs, private balcony. The bathroom has a double trough sink, larger shower, and the toilet is tucked in its own nook with a door. If you travel as a couple, this bathroom layout is valuable. Now, the Oceania Concierge Veranda on Vista, and we were in cabin 8031 for 2 weeks. It's a different animal. It's lighter, it's brighter. It doesn't carry the same gravitas as Haven. It also doesn't come with an espresso maker. Your coffee is via room service or the concierge lounge.
Yeah, our verdict, either room is extremely comfortable. And you'll have more square footage on the Haven Penthouse, and you also have that espresso maker, which is a big deal if it's important to you.
Now, there's one thing that the Haven Penthouse gives you that the Oceania Concierge Veranda does not. And for some of you, it's going to be the single most important difference in this entire video. So let's get to it. This is the category where the two products diverge most clearly, and it's the one you need to think about.
Yeah, the Haven Penthouse comes with a butler and a concierge. Your butler handles the morning coffee, afternoon canapes, unpacking, whatever you need.
Yep.
The concierge handles the ship, reservations, show seatings, tender priority, port logistics, 2 people, 2 roles, comprehensive coverage.
The Oceania Concierge Veranda does not come with a butler. I'll say that clearly again because it's one thing people get wrong when they're comparing these lines. You need to book at least a penthouse suite on Oceania to get butler service. The concierge level gives you something different. A concierge lounge, and a basket of benefits. Here's what some of those benefits include. First is priority restaurant reservations at 60 days out instead of the standard 45, which is a big deal if you want times or tables to yourself. Access to the concierge lounge, and this has became Doug's second home when we were on board. There's specialty coffees, there's sodas, there were snacks in the afternoon. There's even a toaster in there, and Doug brought me peanut butter toast in the morning. So That's a Butler adjacent experience, I guess you could call it, even if nobody's calling it that. You also get access to the Aquamar Spa Terrace, but we'll cover that as well as some other perks later.
Yeah, now is this the same as having a butler? No, a butler sees what you need before you ask. The concierge lounge is a benefit package that gives you things you'd otherwise pay for or wait longer for. It's a proactive resource versus a proactive service. There's a difference.
Here's how we think about it. If you are someone who actively uses a butler, you like the morning coffee appearing, the canapes in the afternoon, the personal attention, the Haven is going to be better in this category. If you're the kind of traveler who doesn't want someone in your room that much, who'd rather grab your own coffee from the lounge, manage your own schedule, the Oceania Concierge package might actually match your style better than a butler you feel obligated to use.
Be honest with yourself about which one you are. The answer matters more than the amenities list. Now let's talk about the food situation.
So this is where Oceania makes its strongest case, in our opinion. The Haven gives you a private restaurant. You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, good food, but it's the same menu every day. We've been through this in our Haven versus Suite video here if you want to take a look. NCL's answer to menu fatigue is specialty dining credits. And typically you get 3 on a 7-night sailing through Free at Sea when you booked.
Now Oceania, the food quality in our opinion is higher than it is at the Haven restaurant. We did a side-by-side comparison on our sailing with the lobster on Oceania versus the lobster on NCL. It's not close. Oceania's lobster was significantly better, higher quality, better presentation.
And here's where the $58 per day per person gap starts to make sense. On the Haven, you're paying extra for specialty dining beyond your credits in Free at Sea. On Oceania, it's included every night if you can get a booking. No counting, no managing credits. If you eat at a specialty restaurant 4 or 5 nights on a 7-night Haven sailing and you burn through your Free at Sea credits, that's real money you're potentially spending above and beyond the fare. One additional perk, for the concierge level, you can also order lunch and dinner on Vista from the grand dining room directly to your room. And we use this often. It is a really nice perk of being in that level room.
Yeah. Verdict on dining: if food is an essential reason you cruise, we feel Oceania is a better product. The included specialty dining alone closes the perceived price gap between the two. Yeah. And we'll show you that more in the cost section.
Yeah. Now, let's compare the outdoor spaces in detail. This category is where the empty nester upgrade story becomes real. The Haven sundeck is a private space for Haven guests. 2 levels, pool on the main floor, hot tub upstairs is that adults only area. It's well appointed. There's food service, there's a sauna and ice room on Aqua anyway. It's impressive infrastructure. But we've said this before, the Haven sundeck is private to Haven guests. It is not adults only by design. During family travel weeks, the lower deck reflects whoever is booked in the Haven. We saw this on our aqua sailing during spring break. It was a well-appointed pool deck with the energy of a very busy ship day. It was not a sanctuary.
Yeah, the Oceania experience is fundamentally different. The entire ship is adults only. That's not an amenity, that's an atmosphere. And it's consistent regardless what week you sail.
Now the pool infrastructure itself. So Oceania Vista doesn't have the Haven's 2-level setup. What they have is a main pool, and they also have the Aquamar Spa Terrace. If you are cruising in a concierge veranda, you have access to this area. Aquamar is beautiful. It's comfortable. Hot tubs, thalassotherapies pool, heated lounges. It's calmer by nature because there's only 1,200 people on board versus 3,000 plus on NCL. The math of fewer people touches everything from chair availability, bar wait times, and general energy of the space. On the Haven, you'd need to purchase a thermal suite pass to access these comparable features to a thalassotherapy pool anyway. The newer ships, Haven has the sauna and ice room, which is nice.
So if you want the private pool deck with food service and a social bar, that's the Haven. If you want the outdoor space on a ship to be calm by default, that's Oceania. For someone whose kids are grown, the second answer is usually the right one.
So let's move on to the bar scene and evening life. This might matter a great deal to you. Okay, this is one category where the Haven has something Oceania can't replicate. The Haven Lounge. The circular bar with 20 seats wrapping the full circumference. The bartender who built me a cocktail from a recipe I slid across the bar, and he said, only in the Haven. This is a genuine, distinctive social experience. It becomes your living room for the week. People settle in. The bartenders learn your name. The conversation flows. If you are a social traveler who finds your people at a good bar, the Haven Lounge is exceptional. Oceania doesn't have an equivalent. The bars on Oceania are beautiful though. Martinis, Horizons, various lounges, but they're shared with the full ship. So they're not yours in a way that the Haven Lounge belongs to Haven guests.
Yeah. But here's the counterweight. Oceania's bars aren't typically that crowded now that they've stopped the 5 o'clock happy hour. There are 1,200 guests. Even on a sea day, you can usually walk into Martini's, find 2 seats at the bar, have a conversation with the bartender.
Yeah.
The intimacy comes from the ship size, not a key card.
And Oceania has string music, a quartet playing during tea, a pianist and martinis in the evening. He was a lot of fun, by the way. Live bands and horizons and shows in the theater. The evening entertainment is more intimate across the board. The Haven offers big production shows in a big theater, more variety, more spectacle. Oceania offers smaller scale enrichment, resident ensemble performances, port talks. It's just a different rhythm entirely. If you want a bar that becomes your social hub with personality bartenders, the Haven's going to win. If you want a quieter evening where the bar is part of a calm adult atmosphere rather than the center of the social universe, Oceania's rhythm is probably a better match to that. One important pricing note on drinks. The Haven fare typically includes free at sea, which gives you the basic drinking package, but it's all bars, all hours. Oceania includes house wine and beer during lunch and dinner hours only. There's a gap between 4 and 6:30 where you're paying if you want to drink unless you upgrade to what we feel is a pretty expensive package. So if you're a daytime drinker, the Haven actually has a better drink deal here. But if you mostly drink at lunch and dinner, Oceania's inclusion covers you. We'll factor this into the cost section.
And for travelers who don't drink, this category matters much less. And know that you can book your Oceania cruise with shore excursion credit instead of wine and beer at meals. So if you don't drink, you won't be paying for everyone else's alcohol in your cruise fare.
That's important. The Haven Lounge advantage is specifically a social drinking advantage. Keep your own habits in mind before you give this a whole lot of weight. All right, the final non-price category is the one that matters most emotionally, but it is difficult to quantify. The Haven is a luxury inside a resort ship. You have a private complex, the elevator, the sundeck, the lounge, the restaurant, and then you step outside those glass doors and you have a water park, maybe go-karts, casinos, aqua coasters, 20 bars, Broadway level shows, a food hall. The Haven gives you luxury and access to everything a big ship offers. Oceania is a luxury ship, period. There is no water park, no go-karts, no casino. There's some casinos, but they're small. They're not 3,000 people. You have 1,200 guests on a ship designed for calm conversation, excellent food, and port-intensive itineraries.
So here's how we think about it. The Haven is the right answer if you still want the option of the big ship. You want the retreat to your private space when you want calm. You want the choice of a spectacle when you feel like it. Oceania is the right answer if you've already decided you don't want that spectacle anymore.
Yeah. One practical note on ship size. The Haven complex on NCL's newer ships, Aqua, Luna, Prima Class, are genuinely impressive. The Haven on older ships is less consistent. I would say the same for Oceania. The Vista, Allura are the larger ships with the 1,200 guests. They're newer. Their older R-class ships are smaller with only 680 people on board, but they have tiny bathrooms. They're older, whole different discussion. If you're considering Oceania coming from NCL, we're going to say the Vista class ships give you the best version of the product at the time. So let's dig into the pricing so we can wrap this up. This is the section that surprised us, and if you've been waiting for the numbers, settle in. We priced 2 Caribbean sailings in January 2027. The NCL Aqua, Eastern Caribbean, January 24th through the 31st, Haven HE Penthouse, compared to the Oceania Allura, which is their newest ship at the moment, Western Caribbean, January 20th through the 27th in a Concierge Veranda, same season, same length, same region. Here is what we found. Now let's be transparent about what's in these numbers and what isn't.
The Oceania number is clean, $7,898 for 2 people, 7 nights. Everything listed is included.
The Haven number requires some explanation here. So the $7,838 base fare includes free at sea, which is the basic drink package, 3 specialty dining credits, 150 minutes of Wi-Fi, $50 ShoreX credit per port. That's genuine value. But then you have to add gratuities, which in this case for Haven is $25 per person per day, or a total of $350. But then you add $220 for basic Wi-Fi for 2 people. That's actually unlimited because 150 minutes on a 7-day cruise is roughly 21 minutes a day. If you're checking email, posting a photo, scrolling your feed, and that's gone before lunch on day one, we wanted to make these two even. So for basic Wi-Fi, that's what we added. You add $75 for laundry to be equal to Oceania. That's 3 bags. And then the silent budget eaters, specialty coffee and bottled water, at roughly $8 each. If 2 of you have 1 specialty coffee and 1 bottled water a day for your excursion, that's $32 a day. Over 7 days, that's another $224. And I feel like I'm estimating conservatively here. We haven't even factored in specialty dining beyond the 3 free at sea credits. If you eat at a specialty restaurant on nights 4, 5, 6, or 7, which you might because you've already had the Haven restaurant 3 nights, that's another $25 to $50 per person per meal. On Oceania, those same meals are zero. They're already in the fare. To be clear, I did not add any additional specialty dining into this calculation. Also, if you did the status match from NCL to Oceania, that brings even more value in onboard credits, laundry, etc., based on your level. So the documented total with Wi-Fi, laundry, coffee, and water comes to roughly $622 per person per day for the Haven versus $564 for Oceania. That's a $58 per person per day difference, bigger than the base fare alone suggests. But here's the key point, and it's the one we want you to remember for the entire video. Even if you strip out the coffee and water and just look at the base fare plus Wi-Fi and laundry, the Haven is $8,483. Oceania is still $7,898. That's only a $585 difference on a 7-night cruise for 2 people. That's the number. And it's smaller than most people expect when they hear Haven versus Oceania. But that's exactly why this conversation is worth having, because it means the decision isn't being made for you by the price tag. You get to decide. We told you at the beginning that this isn't about which is better. It's about where you are. And now that you've seen the numbers, here's the honest frame. The Haven costs more, not dramatically more for this itinerary, $58 per person per day more, depending on how you live on a ship. Sometimes the package is dramatically more, and I'll use we paid $1,750 a day for the 2 of us on a spring break cruise because our kids and grandkids had selected that. So sometimes
it can be pricey.
It can be very pricey. So we want to go through what we feel is what you should choose. So number 1, stay in the Haven if the Butler matters. The private complex matters. You want the option of the big ship, the shows, the casinos, the slides, on your terms. The $58 a day premium is money well spent because you will use what it buys.
Yeah. Try Oceania. If your kids are grown, the big ship is noise, not energy. Food is your number 1. Adults only isn't a perk, it's the point. You don't use the Butler enough to justify the premium, and you'd rather have specialty dining included than managed credits. You're not saving a fortune, you're spending slightly less on something that fits who you are now.
And honestly, skip both. If you've already decided you want adults only exceptional food and calm, and the $1,000 per day pricing for 2 tells you it's time, you might want to look at Viking, Regent, or Silversea. Oceania is the step between premium and ultra luxury. If you're ready for the full step, those lines are the next conversation, but that's a different video. So one last thing, we went into this expecting a bigger price gap because of our spring break costs on NCL. We were wrong, and we think that actually the most important thing we can tell you, because when the Haven and Oceania cost roughly the same, the decision becomes about what you want, not what you can afford. And that's a decision worth making with your eyes wide open.
We know this comparison is going to generate some opinions, probably some strong ones, and that's good. We want them. We love to hear them. That's how the conversation gets better for everyone.
If you want our full Haven tips and tricks or our deep dive on Oceania's concierge level and whether it's worth the upgrade, those videos are here and here. Details, not drama.
Thanks for watching.